30 years ago, on a hot summer's day, your father taught you how to dig for clams. Now that it's a job, the sun seems hotter and the day longer, but the clams taste just as sweet. And now comes Millar time.
Far side for Regina. Connor Bear will game center. Off the wall for Clausen into the zone. Centering pass. Eglin shoots. Scores! Jace Eglin, first career Western Hockey League goal. Grab that puck. Now it's backed out by Zachary Shantz. And down the ice, partial breakaway. Mays all alone. He scores! 5-hole Julian Mays, his first goal as a member of the Regina Pats. Bear working up the ice. Chips it over the line. Julian Mays stops, centering pass. Hamilton shoots, scores! First goal is a Pat Reese Hamilton. Going Ziemer to Huet, loading, backdoor play. What a pass and what a save by Piney. Rob Cohen-Ziemer. How did he stop that one? He dove across. Stopped by Ravensbergen. Still losing front. They score! They score! It's Caden Brown in his hometown. It's his second goal as a member of the Regina Pats. He's got goals in back-to-back games. Zachary Shantz on the near boards. He'll send it back up top. Babcock a shot, scores! Babcock is celebrating, throwing the monkey into the stand. It's his first goal as a member of the Regina Pats with a shot for the line.
Welcome to yet another edition of Millar Time, brought to you by Patscast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast. It's episode 186. It's December 9th. Chris here, Kevin there. How would you night, Kevin?
Doing okay. Road trip ended fairly decent. They started getting their stride, and another trade today. And yeah, it's been an interesting couple weeks.
Yeah, a pretty busy week again. Let's talk about. We'll go start with the off ice stuff. The trade today finally got made a move with PG to move Corbin Vaughan.
Got a pretty good return.
Yeah, can't argue with the returns Millar's getting. A second and another body. So
not just the body. A 19-year-old right-handed defenseman is not just the body.
Well, he is injured though, right? So
yeah, but probably close because he was listed as day-to-day on the last week.
I was just looking it up because I was like, what did it say?
Day-to-day.
Day-to-day. Yeah, okay. So
and the weekly report came out really weird at a different day. It was like the 4th. So
it's
random days now.
I know. Last year was all over the map too. But
he's got 10 points in 15 games, 2 goals. He's easily a top 4 defenseman. He's a right-handed shot. And he's 19, so he's a veteran. He was an alternate captain. I'm impressed with the trade.
Yeah, no, for sure. For a guy that you basically sent home. So, obviously, there was some issues, and PG was fine to take on that, whatever there was. So, yeah, to be in a situation where Millar was to make out on both those deals, both Vaughan deals, you can't argue with them at all.
Definitely not. 2 players, a first and a second for the ones.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Exactly. So
the Pats have 3 second-round picks in this draft, 2 firsts and 3 seconds this year. It's going to be an interesting draft.
Yeah. I mean, one, I assume, is Everett's, right? Like, it's their own Everett's own. And then, well, that's the thing you think, but you don't know. PG, that's going to be a later pick as well, right? So, but
it's a pick that they could turn into a player or another pick maybe, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Got lots of options now. There's with five top 2 rounds. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can use them to pick a player or you can use them to acquire a player.
Exactly.
So nothing wrong with that. So that's kind of, Millar's just rolling with these deals. I mean, we were looking at it before we started recording. There's all of 5 players left from the start of last season.
Whitehead, 5 players. That's
Whitehead, Spencer, Bridgman, Pine, and Huet. That's it. Everybody else was either acquired last year or this year.
And a couple guys, just a couple draft picks brought in. But yeah, it's
it's
a lot of turnover.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Millar is definitely putting a stamp on this team.
Yeah, that's for sure. We keep saying that.
It's gonna be
really
ride or
good.
die with Al's guys.
Yeah, right. Pretty much. Okay, we've got comments here from Alan Miller, talking about both trades. Previously the Temple trade and Mays, and then the new one here, Vaughan and McNutt.
We're now pleased to be joined with Regina Pats General Manager Alan Millar to talk about a handful of trades over the last 10 days or so, and the most recent one coming before today's puck drop, where the Regina Pats send Corbin Vaughan to the Prince George Cougars in exchange for a crucial second-round pick in this year's draft, as well as veteran right-handed shot defenseman Efren McNutt. Alan, let's just start off with the McNutt and Vaughan trade first. Just tell us about what McNutt brings to the Pats roster, being a 19-year-old defenseman, especially being a right shot, and obviously another pick added to the draft capital.
Yeah, thanks, Dante. Yeah, Efren McNutt, real solid addition to our team. You mentioned that he's a right shot defenseman, which is always valuable. A guy that's really developed into a real good player in our league. Playing on a very good Prince George Cougars team, averaging over 22 minutes a game, 10 points in 15 games. Doing some research on him. Quality kid, hard worker, character, leadership along the way. Really a guy that's eaten up minutes in PG this year, played as much as 32 minutes in individual games. So good addition to our team, not only for this year. We think he presents us with a quality 20-year-old on our back end as well. So pleased to add Efren to our team.
Maybe just talk about just getting the return, another draft pick added to the draft capital, and just adding another draft pick to a crucial 2025 draft. Now you have 2 first-round picks in this year's draft and 3 second-round picks. That's got to be something that you and Dale Durkach are pretty excited about, right?
Well, draft capital is invaluable when you look at, whether you use those picks to draft players, Dante, or you use those picks to improve your team through trades. I think in terms of what we're doing here, the process, what we're building, the number of picks over the next 3 years, 16 picks in the top 3 rounds over the next 3 years. You noted the 9 picks over the next 2 drafts with 4 first-rounders and 5 second-rounders. Very valuable. Obviously, those picks have to be used properly, whether you draft or use them in a trade. But we feel that's going to give us a lot of options, a lot of flexibility, to get this right in terms of what we're building and what we need to do over the next couple of years to get this hockey club to the level that we all want it to be and we all expect it to be.
Speaking with Pats General Manager Alan Millar, maybe tracing back to November 22nd, just before the team left on the road. A tough trade, to say the least, because you send a quality person to the Everett Silvertips and Cole Temple in exchange for a really good player. He's been off to a great start as a member of the Regina Pats. You get Julian Mays in return, a 3-point game on Wednesday. He had a beautiful assist on Reese Hamilton's first as a Pat on Friday in Prince George. Just tell us about that trade and what Julian Mays brings to the Regina Pats.
Yeah, a little bit different type of player in terms of his skill set. Really has elite puck skills, real good hockey sense, his vision in terms of making plays. One of the things that we're looking to do here is add talent and add skill to our lineup. And, we think Mays falls into that category and really like the way he's played the last few games. And, he's a young guy that was a young guy in the league last year. He's a December birth, so he's a late birth. Just turned 17 this weekend. So real good runway and a real good future for Mays with our club.
I know one of the things that you and Dale Durkach prioritize is hockey sense and skill, and it seems from watching Julian over the last 5 games or so is that he brings those attributes to this Pats team. I know you alluded to it briefly, but it really seems like from watching him, Alan, that he has high-end skill and he does have that high IQ, correct?
Real good puck skills, high hockey IQ. You know, you look at some of the plays that he's made here in the last couple of games. He talked about Hamilton's goal late in the game. I thought he made some great plays to give us a chance to tie up that game in PG with some elite vision and elite passing. He's just one of those guys that can do some special things when he's got the puck on his stick, sees the ice really well, and I think that's a dynamic that our team lacks and we need, and it's something we need to build around.
Maybe lastly, before I let you go, Alan, one thing that we should probably share with the fan base is the fact that I think the Pats do a really good job in terms of bringing the prospects in over the Christmas break or just after the Christmas break to get them a taste of WHL action. From what I understand, you're bringing 9 prospects in just after the Christmas break. Who are some of the prospects that you've been impressed with so far? We actually just ran into Cohen Hamby and Mathis Paul. They skated with the Pats in Kelowna at a practice. You got to be pretty happy with the prospect pool that you've been able to put together, correct?
Yeah, lots of optimism around our prospect pool, whether that's, some of the young players we've added to our roster or others that we've added. Like I think about Chase Eglin as an 08 joining our team, or Pantelakis, and then you look at our group of 09s. We're really excited about that group coming in after Christmas. We feel that it's real important for our young players to spend as much time around our coaches and our players as they can. It's good for their development. I think you look at guys like Hordachuk and Senya coming in to spend some time with our team. Hanby and Paul, I saw them play head-to-head the day before our game in Kamloops on this trip. Lots of good things. Hayden Wagner, Failer, all these guys coming in. It'll be good opportunity for them to do some development work with our coaches, and again, just that time around our team, seeing how our roster guys get ready for a game, how they practice. Our young guys getting on the ice with them. We believe it's invaluable, and we look forward to them getting that experience with our team after Christmas.
Then there's one other thing in there. He kind of talked about bringing in all the prospects, so that's kind of interesting as well. Kind of get a look at everybody and stuff. So
yeah, they did that last year. Apparently, they brought in a bunch of the young guys just at Christmas time, and they just let them practice and be part of the team. But they never played. But kind of interesting.
Yeah, for sure. There's one other thing I want to add. I was putting together last week's show there, and I was putting in the Cole Temple interview and all that stuff, and putting it all together. And then there was like the last comment or the last question you asked him, what does it mean to be Regina Pat? He's like, I'm very thankful to be here. It's just like you hear that and it's just like, oh man, that's tough. That's got to be tough.
A little crushing, hey?
Yeah, right. Like, but
especially
it is what it is.
Especially when most people expected the Pats to build around him.
Yeah.
But hey, it's the way it goes.
Yeah, it is what it is.
He's doing pretty well in Everett. Mays is doing pretty well here so far. We'll get to that in a bit.
For sure. I guess then the next kind of roster news is Huet officially going to Switzerland camp for the World Juniors. That's not a surprise.
It isn't a surprise, but it is a surprise. Like he has not played well. He's had a couple good games, but I'm sure he knows. I'm sure he totally understands that he hasn't played well. Like the dude's got like a 5 goals against average.
Yeah,
as a 19-year-old.
And I don't know what other options they do have over there, right, to bring here. So
he's the only returning goalie for Switzerland. So
yeah, he'll probably get more action this year. Maybe
he might. Yeah, depending on how. I guess on the 19th is when he'll get opportunity to show his wares against Canada in the pre-tournament game.
Oh, he plays Canada. Oof.
I think it's Canada. Yeah.
Somebody will be playing against Canada.
He might.
Yeah, he might. He might not. But yeah, that's a tough one. But I mean, it is what it is. So then, in his absence, they've called up Drake Mooney for this week. I know there's a lot of question marks around that, but there's reasons why other guys don't get called up. Maybe
I don't think it really matters who they called up because you expect Pine to play both games.
Yeah,
he's carrying the load.
Yeah,
like
it's almost no Pine, no hope.
It's kind of getting that way.
But he just did play back-to-back on this road trip, right? Like he played Victoria, Vancouver, and not too surprised, but a little bit surprised, right? You know, you haven't. I don't think he's played back to back all year, but hey, it worked out. You got the win in Vancouver, right? So
it'll be interesting to see Mooney get even just into the couple warm-ups just to see what he's like. He's not having a great season. I don't know what kind of team Prairie Hockey has, but he's not having a great season. And a lot of people are surprised that Malacca didn't get the call. But looking at Milford's roster or schedule, he hasn't played the last 3 games, and they're scheduled to play the 13th to 14th.
yeah,
But you found out a tidbit from Clark Monroe. You asked him. He's the SJHL insider. Insider.
Yeah, so
what did he say?
He's gone to the World Junior A Challenge as an extra body. So he's not on the roster of the West team. Maybe he's just a extra goalie, a third goalie just in case kind of thing, or whatever. So I didn't ask for details. Just he said that's where he's at. So that's probably why he hasn't played.
Yeah, he hasn't played the last 3 games. Their AP played the 3rd game of the 3 that he's missed, and he picked up a shutout. So
yeah, so yeah, he's not available. Probably not available for this week. So see what happens after Christmas.
There's that for this week. So
yeah.
People doubting the Pats and not giving up on Malacca or whatever, come on.
Yeah.
Do 5 minutes of searching, and you might actually find some info.
Yeah, exactly. So, but so we'll see what happens after Christmas. Maybe he shows up after Christmas. Maybe they bring in Chase. Who knows, right?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
There's still a month to the deadline, so there could be a lot more changing.
Exactly, right? Yeah, pretty much exactly a month here. So, and then what else we got? I guess we kind of missed the fact that the Memorial Cup got announced last week or previous week, but I don't know. I just don't understand why it didn't go to Medicine Hat. Like, that's a odd decision, but it is what it is.
I don't find it odd at all. I just, wherever the money is, that's where it goes pretty much. I think wherever the money can come in, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess Kelowna did kind of get the Memorial Cup before, and then
they kind of got
taken away
because of screwed because of that. Yes.
So,
but then
maybe it was makeup. I don't know.
I know, right? But then they weren't. They tried to get it in 23, and then they didn't because they have major issues with their building. Right? And I mean, how good is the team going to be next year? I don't know. They should be okay, but you look at Medicine Hat should be pretty good. They got a brand new building and all this, but I don't know. And then
a lot of question marks with both teams next year.
That's true.
With the whole NCAA thing and the rumors about McKenna.
Yeah.
Who knows, right?
And is Lindstrom ever going to play?
Yeah, exactly.
Back we talked about before, back surgeries, those are never good and stuff. So, but I don't know. I seen an interview with Bruce Hamilton, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we're going to get all." He rattled off 10 things that they need to do to the building, and we're like, we're working on it right now. Well, that's why you didn't get it last time.
Yeah, they've had 10 years or whatever to get it done. So maybe it's time to do it now.
Yeah. So, but anyways, that's my thoughts. Anyways, but.
Like I said, I don't really have any thoughts on it. It's wherever the money goes.
Yeah, that's to answer all your questions is money.
Money.
In all facets of life. Why?
Yeah.
Why this? Why that?
Money.
Why did Juan Soto go to the Mets over the Yankees? Because reportedly they offered him $5 million more. Because $5 million is a big deal at 765 over 760. So, but anyways. All right, we should move on to these games. Kind of go through these games. It was a tough start. The first 2 in Kamloops, Kelowna, and then you're going into a back-to-back Victoria, Vancouver, and you're thinking, okay, that's
can't get much worse.
I know it's going to be a tough one.
My thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, the Victoria game, you're just looking at it 7-1, and you're like, ugh. But it wasn't a terrible game. I mean, they played good in the first 2 periods, I thought, and kind of got away from them in the third. Because you're going into the third period down 3-1, which isn't the worst. But and I mean,
They scored 4 goals in like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
that was like the downfall. They just like it seemed like they gave up.
Yeah, right. And I mean,
They hit the wall and stopped.
Yeah. The 3 goals in the first and second though were all on the power play, so that kind of shot themselves in the foot right there. Right, you give up 3 power play goals, you're not going to win a game.
Not very often.
No, so that wasn't great. But then like going into Vancouver, and Pine getting the start again, and you're thinking, okay, well, let's see what happens here. And
I didn't know what to expect with that one.
No, but he played real well in that game.
And the Pats scored first.
Exactly.
And second. And third.
Right? You get a 3 goal lead. Like, it's been a while since the Pats had a 3 goal lead.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah.
And then they bent a little bit, but they didn't break that game.
You give up that second goal early in the third. You're like,
it's like, oh no, not again.
I know,
not
right?
Again.
But then the Pats respond. Then they give up another one late. But But it was too
Brown
late.
sealed it with the empty netter.
Yeah. So
I was so excited for the guys. Just after all the getting decimated the previous 4 games, and then being able to find a way
back, right? Yeah, like
to find a way, bounce back, and take up the win. Good old Kelton Pine, 38 saves.
Yeah, first star of the night. So, but yeah, it's like they could have just folded their tent on this back half, right? Like, and like I think they took some of that momentum into PG. Like the PG game, like I don't know, PG didn't look that good. Like I don't know,
they're not bad, but they're not as good as I expected them.
Yeah,
I thought they were going to skate over the Pats. Like even after the win the night before, I thought Prince George was just going to skate us into the ice.
Yeah,
and it was a pretty close game.
Yeah, like it
was 3-2 with an empty netter. Like it was a close game.
I know, and you look at the shot totals. Like the Pats, I don't want to say dominated, but they had some good
for the
play
Pats
in the first.
34-21.
Yeah,
that's dominating, because the previous game, what was it, 44? What was it, 41-26? And the previous game is 44-26. Like that's dominating for the Pats. Like cut their shot total against in half.
Yeah, and
against a good team like Prince George.
So I don't know if was Prince George was just coasting in this game or what. Like, but I mean, like Ravensburgen, he played well, right? Like he was
Ravensburgen.
I know, right? We know he's good, but I just thought, like you said, that PG was going to skate over him. Like I remember the PG game here last year, and it was like, oof, it was ugly.
Yes.
But I mean, obviously teams change year to year.
Yep.
But they're just, not quite as good as last year.
And PG must have been thinking they're lacking something to pick up Corbin Vaughan. So
yeah. Well, we're going to get to it later, but an interview with Borya Valis, he mentions the D is a little young, so maybe maybe they're missing something back there, like you said.
But they traded a 19 for an 18, so
that makes it even younger, right? Maybe a more skill guy. I don't know what their thoughts are, but hey, switch it up, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Switch it up for them. So, I mean, they're not a bad team at all. So,
definitely not. No, they got some top end guys.
So, So I mean, it was, despite the loss, another close game, but you can't be disappointed in that game at all.
Definitely not.
No,
it was definitely not.
It was an entertaining game. Yeah, and Valis with 2-1. The guy comes back to haunt you. He was Dante's player to watch. So, but
and like the couple of their goals were kind of, I want to say lucky, like bounces, weird bounces.
Parasak took one off the skate back door. He was tied up. His stick was tied up. Great play by a defenseman. I can't remember who it was, but it just bounced off his skate and in.
Yeah.
Right. And there was another one. I can't remember exactly what happened.
The third goal, I think it was just a weird bounce and hopped in front and right to the guy. And
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Didn't have a chance. Pioneer didn't have a chance. So.
It is, yeah, it is what it is. But I know there's no moral victories. But hey, they didn't fold their tent. You know, they're still playing strong. And then going to Edmonton on a Sunday afternoon and play another solid game. First couple goals of the game. You know, like
Yeah, got off to a good start first period.
Start. Yeah. Edmonton gets one back before the end of the period. I think, was it in the second that they scored or thought they'd scored a second goal? I can't remember what period it was, but I don't think it was in the first.
It was I'm pretty sure it was the second, where
Yeah.
the puck didn't even look like it went in the net, and the referee was pointing like it was right there.
He was adamant the puck was in the net, and I was like, but the Pats were arguing it, and I was like, oh man, I mean, he's pretty adamant. Like, you know, players always argue, right? Not
Yeah.
you know, to some extent, but they were like, no, they were, and the ref was so adamant. He was like shaking his arm right there, and then there wasn't a replay for a while, and all of a sudden there's a replay, and there was Pine made the save, it bounced out into the circle, like out of the
Yeah,
crease
I don't
into
know
the
what he
circle.
saw in the net. Must have been like
Yeah.
the toe of his skate or something. I don't know what it was, but
But yeah, that was wild. So Pat's quote unquote caught a break there because, but
and they reviewed it a long time too.
I know
Like,
it took a long time to review. So, but then the goal to tie it up, the actual goal to tie it up in the third period. Whew, what a goal! I don't know. I can't remember which defender got just undressed.
Hodnett
but-
got undressed. Moore
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, it was
got Moore standing
forward,
still.
forward
Just-
trying to play some D. Yeah.
Tried to get in the way and just nope.
Unfortunately, yeah, it was a tough one for him.
Yeah,
But
and Hodnett, that was a nice shot.
yeah, no, that was a great goal. You got to give him credit.
Unfortunately, they tied it up, and then
Yeah, I went to overtime, and yeah, just a nice play.
overtime.
Yeah, nice play by the Sachin brothers. Nice little setup. Lucas got kind of lost. The defense or the defenders lost him kind of backdoor, and he made no mistake there. That's a nice goal. So
I'm sure it would have been nice if they had Hamilton in the overtime, but unfortunately, he got
Yes.
dumped during the third period, midway
Third
through the
period,
third, and his left leg looked like it got kind of buckled underneath. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it didn't
like
look.
a guy fell on his lower leg, like on his ankle-ish. So
Yeah, twisted his leg pretty good.
he didn't put any weight on his leg going off the ice.
No,
So I have to keep an eye on this weekly report this week and see.
yeah, I
kinda what
haven't
his
heard
status
anything
is.
about it.
So, but yeah, it's too bad.
And Dante's like, let out his MCL.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But we'll
Dante,
see what happens.
dude.
That's in your knee, and there's 3 ligaments in your knee. So
Yeah,
But
his left leg bent the wrong way. The lower part went one way, and the upper part went the other way. So hopefully it's
well.
nothing too major, but
So yeah,
hopefully
see what happens.
hopefully it's flexible enough that it didn't hurt him too bad.
Yeah,
Just when they have a chance to come home and practice and get ready for a couple home games before
right?
Christmas,
You
gets
get
hurt.
back. You got a week. You got a week off here. Not a week off, but a week to practice and stuff like that. But yeah, well, that's hockey though. Guys get hurt,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So
It's unfortunate, but
yep.
hopefully it's nothing too serious.
Yeah, right. Yeah, speaking of that, games, you got anything else from that? I mean, the road trip as a whole, like it's all wrapped up. I mean, they went.
Well, you
6
talked about back-to-back games with Pine. He actually played the last 4 games of the road trip.
Yeah,
so
for sure. But I mean, like
he's clearly
actual
the number
back-to-back
one.
nights. Yeah,
he's
but we
clearly the number one now.
Yeah, we hadn't seen him play back-to-back nights yet, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
but
obviously
yeah,
been.
4 in a row to finish the trip.
Mhm. Other than that, what else? What else you got from the road trip there? Like, like I said, it's nice to not see them fold the tent and just.
Especially after the start of the trip, where they scored 27-2 or whatever it was, actually being able to pull out a W, get another point, and actually look good the last 3 games.
Yeah.
Good-ish against Victoria, even though the score was 7-1. They looked good for parts of that game.
Mm-hmm.
But the last 3 games were actually really decent games.
Yeah.
They had a chance to practice. Hey, practice might help a little bit, right?
Yeah, well, especially with all the new guys, right? Like
So many new guys, they got to learn.
exactly. So
And they're not just gonna come in and score goals. They're not they're not top end elite goal scorers. A lot of these guys are young dudes that are just learning the league still. Like,
Yeah.
give them a chance. I know people want instant gratification, but give them a chance. Let them
That's
practice.
not how it works.
Exactly.
They're not bringing in old guys. They're not building here, right? Like, they're not adding high end guys. They're bringing in young guys to build a team, right? Like,
and these guys aren't going to come in to score 6 goals a game every game to start. Like, you got to see what they're worth first to see how they play. So
yeah,
it'd be nice to see them get some practice time, get together, see how they go.
Yeah. One guy that does stand out, I think, Julian Mays. Like we talked about, it was tough to see Temple goal, but Mays brings a different skill set. I think he's more of a playmaker, it seems.
He seemed to be all over the ice.
Yes. He's
like a little water bug.
He made a nice little pass to Hamilton on his goal. He drew like 3 defenders into him, and then he chips it over to Hamilton, and he's wide open in the slot and scores a goal, right? Like,
yeah.
So it, like you said, it's tough to see him go, but he brings a different skill set. Maybe something like that will help the Pats, start.
And he just turned 17.
Yeah, literally.
He literally just turned 17 a couple days ago. So
yeah,
give them a chance.
Definitely. So, anyway, so we should get looking at the games ahead. A couple games this weekend, back-to-back games. You got who's on Friday? Where's the schedule? Too many tabs open here. Friday is Saskatoon. So first time Saskatoon's here, right? I'm sure that's the first time. Yeah, we've seen them in Saskatoon October 15th, 4-3 overtime loss. But Saskatoon's been rolling, so it'd be nice to see. It's nice to see them. We haven't seen them yet, right? So
see how the new Pats can battle against them on the Christmas night or whatever it is. Santa Claus will be in the ring.
And calendar giveaway. So I wonder how many guys on the calendar are already gone. Flip to December, Aaron Kristanovich. Oh, yeah, I remember him. So, but it is what it is. And then Saturday's Teddy Bear Toss versus Moose Jaw. So hopefully they don't get shut out like Wenatchee just did last night.
It's happened once before, but hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. But Moose Jaw obviously has made some big deals, moved out a lot of guys, so kind of comparable teams right now. So see what happens on Saturday. Has Moose Jaw been here as well? Yes, back in September 29th, 4-3 overtime win for the Pats. And then they were in Moose Jaw the night before, a 4-2 loss. So 1-1 against Moose Jaw. So see what their new team looks like now.
And I think that was Huet's only win of the season.
Is it really? Oh, geez.
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
Yeah. So if you come to the game, bring your teddy bears.
Put them in bags. Make sure you put it in a bag.
I think they give bags now too, so
probably.
But yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. You got anything else there before we move on?
No, I think that's about it.
All right. Well, go to this interview with Borya Valis. Dante talked to him in PG, so I thought we'd play that for you guys. Guy was here for 2.5 years. Good little interview there.
Speaking with former Pat and current Prince George Cougars forward Borya Valis. And Borya, fans have been waiting quite a while to hear from you and how things have gone so far in Prince George since the trade on December 31st of 2023. Let's just go back over a year ago, or maybe just less than a year ago. What was that day like for you moving from Regina to Prince George?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely surreal. I mean, I've been a Pat for 2 years before that, so started in Regina, and they kind of started my WHL career. So it was definitely surreal to hear that I'm getting traded, and they treated me well in Regina, and couldn't ask for anything better. But now it's a new team, and I love Prince George, and I wouldn't change it for anything else.
Do you miss your billets, Shelley and Graham?
Yeah, of course. I miss everyone. Miss Dante. Miss the boys. I know lots of the boys are gone, but yeah, for sure.
It seemed like you had a lot of fun times with the Regina Pats. What were some of your fondest memories?
Yeah, I mean, the road trips, sold out crowds with Bedard and going to BC and all the sold out crowds, and then when he came back from World Juniors, we had all the sold out crowds. The 17,000 in Scotiabank against Calgary Hitmen was fun. So there's a lot of fun memories for sure.
It's so sad. Every time I think back to that playoff series, you didn't get to play because you got hurt against the Brandon Wheat Kings, and I forget, there was only a couple games left in the season. How tough was that for you, and how nice was it last year to finally get some playoff experience, because you broke out in the playoffs last year?
Yeah, I mean, I was unfortunate. Couldn't help the team back then. Broke my ankle, but playoff series last year was electric. I mean, it was the coolest experience of my life.
Speaking with former Pats forward Borya Valis, he's now a member of the Prince George Cougars. When I look back at your time with the Regina Pats, it was just such a tight group. I mean, you, Connor, Tanner. I know Tanner's gone, which is obviously tough for a lot of fans, and myself and the coaching staff as well, because I know Kenny and Brad just loved Tanner so much. And I remember when you left, Kenny was really emotional, Brad was emotional when Bergie got traded that day. There were a lot of good times. There were some tough times as well, Borya, but it seemed like we all got along. Everybody was pretty tight, right?
Yeah, I mean, we had super tight group. When I was 17, 18 years old, it was one of the tightest groups. It was definitely, all the guys were really close, and we had good 20s, and it was definitely unforgettable. Yeah,
we had a lot of characters on that team as well. I mean, what was it like having the opportunity to be on Connor's right-hand side, knowing, that he just won the Calder last year?
Yeah, it was, I've said it lots. It's definitely surreal. He's an unbelievable player. He's doing great in the NHL. It was definitely really cool.
How much better did he make you in terms of elevating your game into where you are right now? Because you're on pace to have a 90-plus point season this year.
Yeah, he's taught me a couple things just watching him play and stuff. It was really, really fun to watch. Just the little things he did. But yeah, still watching him play to this day, learning stuff.
I still remember your first career hat trick against the Edmonton Oil Kings back in November of 2022, I believe it was. And, him setting you up in the slot and getting that hat trick was obviously pretty cool. But, when I look back at your time with the Regina Pats, obviously John Paddock had a lot to do with it as well, because he gave you the opportunity to play on his wing. He gave you the opportunity to play in the top six at a very young age, because you came in as an undrafted player. Just tell us about what John Paddock meant to your career early on.
Yeah, it all started with Dale. He was the one that brought me into this league, and he was the one that gave me the shot. And then John, of course, believed in me, and he gave me the chance to play with the great line mates, and it worked out well. And all praise to Connor. All praise to John and Dale. It was very thankful for them.
Speaking with Prince George Cougars forward Borya Valis, I just wanted to ask you about this team in particular and your season so far. You're off to a career best 34 points, I believe, so far this year. It's got to feel nice to have the success that you've had so far in Prince George.
Yeah, for sure. We have a great team. Been in a slump for a couple games, but it's all right. We'll bounce back. We had a long week off, and time to get to work this weekend.
So as far as this Prince George Cougars team is concerned, last year had a deep playoff run, but unfortunately fell short. What's it going to take for this team this year to win a potential WHL championship? Because I assume that's your goals. You guys have the group of players to do it, right?
Yeah, it's going to take just the boys playing for each other. It should be a family, and once we play for each other and we're all connected, and we go out there and we win. So I think that's the most important.
You have Zemer, Huet, Komet, Parasak, the list goes on and on as far as the great players that you have the opportunity to play with on this team. What's it like playing with so many highly skilled players once again in your career? It seems like there's so much depth throughout the lineup. Lajoie coming to his own this year as well. Tell us about just the depth that you guys have all around the lineup.
Yeah, we have depth through our first through our fourth. Each line plays well. Each line can score. Each line makes plays. Our defense are a bit young, but they're getting the hang of it, and our goaltending is unbelievable. I mean, we have Rav and Net, and but yeah, I think it just starts with just the little details. I think once we take care of the little details, we'll definitely have some success.
Borya, I always knew that you had this in your potential. Like, I always knew you would be able to do this. I think you knew that first and foremost. Thank goodness I'm not sitting here doing an interview with you where you turn around and say, well, I haven't played to my standards, because a lot of the time when I was doing interviews with you, you would say, well, I could be better, I could be better, I can better. I'm sure you still have that mentality, but it's got to feel nice to finally look at the stat sheet, look at your performance on the ice and say, finally, I'm playing to, I guess, where my level of play is to believe to be at.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, like you said, you could always be better, and I believe that I could be better for sure. I could score more, have just play an overall better game. But I can't complain where I'm at right now, and I think it's not just me. I think it's my line mates and the team and the coaching staff that are bringing me this success.
Awesome. Well, Borya, thank you so much for taking the time. Nice to see that you're doing well, and good luck here against your former team, the Regina Pats.
Yeah, thank you, Dante.
Wrap it up here. Anything else you got over this last whole couple weeks? And been lots to talk about, right? And I mean, it may not end next week. You never know.
It's still a month to the deadline, so there's until the deadline passes. I'm not going to even predict what the team is going to look like until the 11th of January.
Yeah. No, for sure. You never know who's going to get moved. We didn't think Temple was going to get moved. He got moved. So
exactly. I miss being at the rink. That's one thing that about this last couple weeks. Missed it.
Yeah.
It's not as fun watching it on WHL Live.
No, it isn't. You get distracted at home doing other things, trying to watch a game. But
exactly.
Yeah, it's nice to sit down in the rink and focus on the game. And
I got to make one comment. Edmonton's broadcast is awesome, except for their in-game announcer dude, the guy that's in the stands.
Oh,
Oi, rough.
Yeah, no, you get a great production out of Edmonton because it is an NHL rink. You get great sight lines, great view, and then
nice
Buddy
and
has
bright,
to come
nice
on.
and clear.
Buddy has to come on and play by play this kiss cam. Like, how cringy is that? Oh my god! And the guy previous to him was terrible too. And they play it over the radio broadcast. Like, why do they have to put their in-game stuff over the radio broadcast? I don't need to hear that. Yes,
exactly,
in other rinks, you hear it in the background. You hear them talking, whatever. It is what it is. But they put it on the broadcast, which is so bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm reading through Steve and Kevin's, which arena comments and stuff, and you're like, oh, this team is so like, junior A-ish and all this, and it's like Edmonton's got such a good setup, but they almost pull a junior A kind of minor league, small town stuff, but it should be better, and it's just so bad. But yeah, that's a comment / rant of the week, I guess.
But you can't go wrong with their broadcast quality though. Like the picture is unbelievable.
No, it's like watching TV. Like
it's literally watching TV.
Yeah, you don't realize you're streaming, right? So
pretty much, yeah, it's unbelievable.
But yeah, all right. With that, we should get out of here. So don't forget your Teddy Bears on Saturday, and have a good night, folks.
Take her easy.
This has been a Millar Time presentation. Thank you for your time.